Hey friends, I gotta catch you all up. If you're following my channel and need to get in the loop of what's going on, I think I figured out how I want to start approaching my videos. Sorry for the adjustment here. So long story short, okay, so last night, 3:42, there was an earthquake in my area in a town called Long Beach, California. And it struck a very weird area because it was under a hill. Long Beach is probably about, I don't know, let's say 20 miles wide by 15 miles long by 20-mile longitude, if you want to think of it that way. It makes like a weird acute angle triangle. Yeah, it was a 2.7, but it was hard enough to jolt some of us out of our beds last night. Interesting enough, not everybody awoke to it. And then the people who actually sensed it and knew something wasn't right were the ones who were attuned to the higher, vibrations and whatnot. So to tie it all together, Indonesia was struck with a 6.9 shortly after we did. Shortly before we felt one, a swarm of quakes hit in Indonesia as well. Hawaii has also been tremoring too. So I think, and even Alaska had about 4 or 5 earthquakes. So I could put a link in the description below. It has a lot of weird characters, but if you just click on, you can see that it's earthquakes.gov, earthquakes.world.gov, something like that. Worldearthquakes.gov, something like that. But I put in the description below, and you can see that it's along the upper realm to the side rim of the Ring of Fire. So I'm wondering what is going to happen, because that wasn't normal last night. But at the same sense, I did predict a couple weeks ago, I did say that this was all in the cusp of the 6th seal and the 6th root race, which we are evolving to. So as the earth opens up, these minerals and whatnot are going to be in our environment, which would advance our cognition and intuition and our DNA and all that. You can't stop it. The only downfall that I can say about all this is there's a channel I really admire and appreciate. It's called Suspicious Observers. I have that link below as well. I watch it daily because it gives me an idea what is happening with the sun and how the activity of the sun affects the earth. That's how you can determine earthquakes. But there wasn't any solar action yesterday, which made me go, that's weird. So it must be the volcanoes that are it's weird to say this. So when the sun is in full effect, for lack of words, when the sun is really busy, the earth is chill. And then when the sun is less active, the earth starts moving around a little bit. Solar minimums are usually solar minimums still give our volcanoes and tectonic plates vibration. They have frequency. They exchange back and forth. Solar minimums are a little bit more serious than solar maximum because the sun is getting closer. It's descending. It's going to where all the planets are. Solar maximum, then it goes to solar minimum towards the end of the year. If you guys want to know the sun, and it's going up and down. Or if our direction's going here, the sun is basically traveling like this, up and down, if that's the way you want to put it, if we are on a shooting star. I'm so smart. Going back to how this applies to our spiritual movement, getting closer to a sixth root race. The Bible talks about the sixth seal. It's not the Armageddon. It's not the apocalypse. People get apocalypse so mixed up because apocalypse means that it is the revelation of the apostles who foresaw these things happening. They call them apocryphes, apostasies, something like that. One of the two mean the same. They all come from the same source. If something's apocrisy, it means like, whoa, hey, how did you know that was going to happen? And apostasy is something that is foresawn, ready to come about, and then it happens. And then you had apostles who foresaw those things and spoke it, spread the word. A dove just flew by me, a white dove. Yay. Whatchamacallit. So going forward in this topic, actually I'll show you guys the dove, if I can zoom really quick. There it is. Did you see it? Anyways, I love this dash cam talk because you gotta be safe when you're doing these. Anyway, so going back to topic. Tim Foster, I love you, Tim. Woohoo! Tim's been on it lately. He shared a prophetic message from a guy named Brian, and a lot of these things that are written about and prophetic, revelations to come about. They've been talking about how all of this is working underneath before it starts to surface. We can't predict the rapture, which is why I appreciate Tim, because he keeps the topic. How are we moving forward onto rapture? I'm kind of seeing things differently now. Ascension is the rapture. The event is the precursor to the rapture. It's all the same. It's all in the freaking same. No matter what denomination or non-denomination you so choose, or however you see it, it's all different. So, it's all the same. It's in different terms and vocabulary, but we all have to start building a bridge of understanding all of this. So long story short, I put that in the description below, and it talked about Thomas the apostle and him having a revelation of an occurrence that happened in the future. And I believe that the earthquake that happened today was the marker for these 8 days that are to come, and we're to see what happens on August the 13th. That is a Monday. This is a prophetic slash vision that I think I want to say, let's go forward with this prediction that I think something might occur within the next 8 days, in terms of the precursor to the event. It has to have something catastrophic, because that's the only way the earth will open. And when the earth opens, then it will evolve into its seventh root race, which will then change the earth's process. We won't have summers and winters the same. Spring, if there is a spring and a fall, that probably won't be in the future. It'll just be summer, winter. They do talk about the mini polar, what does it call it? The mini ice age, which is what I'm nervous about, because I'm starting to see this happen. We're hot now because the sun simulator and that whole, that whole ordeal about the elite and the fake sun and this and that. Well, unfortunately, we need it. And thank goodness that, Tesla had a prototype and a model that he designed to energize his home and his farm. And thanks to that technology and that free technology, you have we have resources that are trying to keep normalcy. I don't see it as a bad thing. You know, there's a process of slowly letting the truth reveal itself. And it's weird for me to say this, to actually trust what the elites are sort of doing on a global scale, not on a domestic, or trust. They're trying to do what they can to keep, granted, they're trying to, get some money and stock off of it, but that's not my territory of dialogue. My dialogue is that if you did not have anything encourage sunlight and this heat wave feelings that we keep having here in California particularly, we would have already been in an ice age. We wouldn't have evolved. Earth wouldn't have evolved. It's sort of a process where everyone has to do their part. Good, bad, indifferent, dark, light, gray, purple, yellow, higher self, hollow earth, however you see it, everyone has a station in this process. And if you don't follow through, there are consequences. And I know that there are folks probably agreeing with me, and I know that there are probably opposition who are coming across this video saying, yep, he's right. I'm sort of like a person who likes to see two sides and have an observation, not judge and make a biased opinion about it. Sorry for all the rumbling. There is another idea I just thought of. You'll see it on the next video. Anyways, notice that there's some shifts going on, you guys. There's probably 3 shifts that happen. And make sure that if you're into numerology, make your dates. Like the other day, it was August 2nd. That's 8 plus 2 is 11. And then 2018 makes 11. That was a gateway. So it makes absolute sense why there was an earthquake that day. There's gateways that opens, and that is what helps our evolutionary process. That's what time was created for. These alignments on the clock, when they align like that, is what our algorithm of change is. So I'll leave you all to that. A lot of information in the process. Be safe out there. I love you very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.